The Japanese removal.
What was the life and conditions in the Manzanar camp for your dad like?
Well, the conditions were, it was basically it was kind of like a prison camp. I mean, there were guards at all the corners of the camp, and they had machine guns, and it was barbed wire, and they all slept in barracks, and there was multiple families or multiple people in one barrack, and they put families in one barrack, and you know, everyone had to go out to use the latrines, which were, you know, somewhere else, and they had to go take showers in another place, and they had to go to the cafeteria and eat. So it was basically like being in a prison.
Okay. How old was your dad when this happened?
He was college age, so at the time that he went in, he was 18 years old.
How was life before he went to the camp?
Before he went to the camp, he and his older brother, they ran a market on Terminal Island, and they supplied food and supplies to all the fishing boats for the Japanese population that lived there. And it was a very successful store, and so you know, life was really good for my dad there on Terminal Island.
What about after the camp?
After the camp, well, during the camp was, like I said, my dad was college age. So when he was in camp, they allowed him to go to college. So they would only allow Japanese Americans to go to colleges that were inland, away from the shore, so that, you know, because they were afraid that they would send messages to submarines and things like that from the shore. So he got accepted to the University of Texas, and that's where he got out of the camp and he went to the University of Texas, and that's where he continued to go to college, and then after graduating from college, he went to work in Dallas, Texas.
Okay. How many personal belongings did they let him take?
Because of Executive Order 9006, they were only allowed to take 2 suitcases. So if they had to store everything that they couldn't carry, and they stored it in a warehouse in Whittier, California. And soon after they went into the camp, vandals went into the warehouse and burned all of their goods that they were storing.
What did they do with their shop when all this happened?
That's what happened when. That's what they did when all of this happened. Was because they couldn't take anything with them, and because of the fact that there was a lot of anti-Japanese sentiment, no one would buy anything from my dad or his older brother. You know, everything that they had, no one would buy it, and so that's why they went to store it in a warehouse.
Okay. Did they supply him with food, clothing, and supplies while in the camp?
Basic food, clothing, and supplies while they were in the camp. Yes.
How many people were there to a cabin?
I'm not really certain, but I want to say that to each barrack there were like um, 30 to 40 people.
Okay. Did they have duties or jobs at the camp?
Yes, because my dad and his older brother ran a store in Terminal Island, they were elected to run the camp store there in the Camp Mazadar. And they basically, got all the food and stuff that the people utilized within the camp.
Did they let him have any contact with the outside world or with family?
Well, basically all of his family was with him. And, what other family that he did have was in Japan, so no, he didn't get to contact them.
Did he ever end up depressed or feeling hopeless that not knowing whether he is gonna get out of the camp or not?
He never, in that he got to get out of camp to go to college. He wasn't like a lot of people that spent the entire war within the camp. And, those are the people that I feel the most for, or the worst I feel mostly for these people, is the people that went into the camp and died in the camp.
Yeah.
Because that's the last thing that they knew, was their country had put them into this camp, and
Yeah.
that was it.
Yeah, not